Everyone, welcome to a late night edition. Well, it's late night on the East Coast, but it's a later edition of Inside Hollywood with Vinny. I'm so pleased to introduce model, actress, journalist, and hysterical. I love the skits, by the way. She is Maria Libri. Maria, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I just realized I had a sleepy Chris in the background there for a minute.
Oh, let's see Chris by all means.
Oops.
Oh,
Hang on.
sorry.
We're in bed right now.
Hi.
Hey, Chris. Well, and I love your new skits lately, by the way. Of the Chandlers are
Thank
really lighting
you.
it up.
The Chandlers, my God, the Chandlers are a mess. They don't know what's going on. Yeah, they are. That was the character Scott Paul, and then we developed Stephanie Paul as his wife. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know what's happening.
And was it Mrs. Puss? The cat ran out. I loved that one. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, Miss Puss the cat. Isn't that a great name? Fun fact, that was actually
Yeah.
Chris's dad's cat's name.
Nice. All right, so we have some comments. People have been saying some really wonderful things. What's up? Hello, what's up, Turtle, my man? We had, I don't know if you've ever been to the wonderful Cafe Palermo down there in Mulberry Street, but we had Baby John saying hello and giving his well wishes. And
That was
so we're
amazing.
so excited, but we would love to know more about you, Maria, and then we'd love to talk about the podcast. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Well, first of all, you're Italian, so I feel like an instant connection with you. I'm Libri, so I'm Sicilian actually, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm a small town girl from the Midwest. Been in television reporting and acting and modeling and all that stuff forever now since high school. So I have three kids, and we live in the Midwest, but Chris and I go back to LA back and forth for work. We actually leave for LA tomorrow, I think. So Wednesday. So to film some podcast stuff and some content, and we're just having a great time doing it. We write our own stuff and we involve friends when we can and kids and our kids. And yeah, we're just living our best lives.
That's fantastic. I noticed with the little dumpling things. My daughter literally was begging me about a week ago to order these little dumplings. I'm like, what are these things? Every week I'm going through like $300 in Amazon.
You too? Okay, I thought maybe it was just an Illinois thing. It is the bane of my existence. Like we're at Five Below every Monday morning. You have to go in the morning apparently because that's when the shipments come in. I don't know if that's true, but yeah. And then Target, and if you get really lucky, you can find them at Barnes and Noble.
And the K-pop keychains. God forbid you don't come home with a K-pop keychain.
Yeah, you're dead.
So tell us about the experience. Yeah, okay, and that seems to be a trend now. A lot of people, unfortunately or fortunately, are leaving LA, and people are kind of going to Tennessee, or they're going to Illinois, or they're going somewhere in between. And I lived out there back in 2008. I have some really fond memories of being living in LA, and had some one. I worked in Beverly Hills, and I had some really amazing times there. But of course, things
Oh.
change, and so tell us like sort of like the
Yeah.
contrast of living in both places.
It's kind of sad, right? There's nothing like LA. I mean, there will never be like another Hollywood. So it's, important to us to keep productions out there. But yeah, being in Illinois, and it's a stark contrast, right? So there's extreme seasons, just like on the East Coast. And we're in a pretty small town. Our kids are all school age. So we're not going anywhere until they're out of school. So Chris is adjusting to to this lifestyle, and I think he's gotten a little spoiled with like no traffic, and like there's no lines, it's just night and day, right? And then we go out to LA and it's just right back in the hustle. It's a rat race, and it's a lot of fun. We enjoy our time there, and we get to see friends and get to work, and it's really like, depending on how you look at it, it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's not for everyone. Some days we want to pull our hair out. We don't know what we're doing, but it's so far it's worked for about 5 years. It's worked.
Well, that's great, and and it's good that you have sort of flexibility. I can't get away, unfortunately. My kids won't let me leave, Philly, let alone go to the West Coast. They're still
Oh,
at that
yeah,
age,
no
but
way.
they won't. They abuse me while I'm here, but they won't let me leave either. So
That's right. And you love it.
I do. I'm a sap for it. Welcome, guys. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure, most importantly, you're following Maria immediately. Otherwise, you got to deal with me. So make sure you're following Maria. We have Leo, my buddy, who was in a couple of my productions here. Hello, Leo. Welcome to the show. And make sure if you have any questions, please make sure you put them out there, and I'll keep an eye on the screen. Make sure we get them answered for you. Let's talk about this podcast, though, because I know a lot of people have been asking about it.
Yeah, so it's called What's Up, Peeps, and it's kind of a nostalgic throwback to our era, right? I'm in my mid 40s, Chris is in his mid 50s. So a lot of our guests are old friends, or they're older stars or their stars who've made a comeback. Our first guest is actually E.G. Daily, who played Dottie in Pee-wee's Adventure. And she was like Tommy Pickles in Rugrats. And she's done so many things. She is such an amazing actress. So we're bringing people that are like, that mean something to us in some way. We are friends with them, we've worked with them, and we just have a very authentic interview. It's just, it's very real. And I'm a therapist and as my day job. So a couple days a week I work as a clinical mental health counselor. And so I'm not letting these people off the hook. I want to go deeper than surface. And it's kind of fun in doing that. And you find a lot in common and you find a lot of things that you didn't know about this person rather than just kind of surface level morning show interviews. So we're really trying to take it deeper and we're trying to really show the world who some of these people are because there's sides to people that no one sees on camera. They just know what they see on screen. And it's also a couples podcast, right? So it's a little different format. So it's Chris and I together as a team interviewing them. And we have a couple of celebrity friends that we're putting on the street and doing interviews. And those will be nice little kind of surprises here and there without giving away names. So it'll be a fun format.
And, it's never been a better time too, because a lot of the stuff now, people are turning more to their phones than ever. I mean, I don't, we're probably around the same age. I'm in my late 40s, but
Okay.
we grew up. I mean, I grew up on 19-inch black and white TV for God's sake. But
Yeah.
we don't really watch TV much anymore. Now it's more like these phones are always in our face. So,
Oh,
but I'm a big fan of podcasts. I'm a big fan of showcasing a lot of these, 80s talents, like you just mentioned EG,
yeah.
and I mean, these are people we grew up on. So, and
Yes.
thankfully for social media, we've been able to kind of really connect with them again.
I know it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's something we weren't able to do in the 90s and the 2000s. It's still very exciting to our people in our era. So, yeah, it's just a nostalgic type of talk show. It premieres Wednesday on Substack first, and then it will be everywhere: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts. But Chris and I actually just wrapped a film called Concert Heroes that was shot in San Diego, and that's how we met EG. And that's how we met a couple of other people in the film that we also brought on as guests. So it's fun to kind of tie those things together.
Great. Okay, Chef Eva says EG played Powerpuff Girl Buttercup. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hi, Chef Ava. How are you, sweetie? I know we got lots of people. I saw a suburban writer in here. She, I don't know who it is, but they're one of my favorites. I love their comments. And Jay Stu, he's got the Italian flag waving there.
Guys, thank you very much again. Please ask a question if you'd like to. How did this all come about? What was the origins of the idea for the podcast?
Well, the idea was just we wanted to work on something together because we're partners in crime. So, like, we do our content together on our socials, and we've done a couple of films together. We write films, we write content. So, everything is sort of done together. And then our producer said, "Hey, why don't you just do a podcast?" And we're kind of like, "Oh, everybody has a podcast. I don't know what's going to make this one special, right?" So, we just thought, what the hell? We'll try it. If it goes, hey, that's great. But keeping our expectations low, and hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised, and hopefully we can offer something entertaining and something a little bit different than everybody else is doing. I don't know. I'm sorry, my dog is trying to get on camera. I've got one
Yeah.
here,
Chris,
and
go
then
walk the dog, Chris.
yeah, Chris, where did he go? I think he went to get a snack. We don't have much of a life. We go to bed at like 9 o'clock here, and then we get up really early. So we're not that exciting, Vinny.
No, guess what? I thought it was me, but I'm like 10 o'clock. I'm starting to get tired. I'm like, what? Geez, like I'm really getting old. Like, is that here's the guy who used to hang out till 3, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, put the sunglasses on
Yeah.
after hours. What happened to that guy?
Yeah, I bet you did. I can see that. I bet you were a club guy, like one of the Roxbury guys.
I can't do it. I'm afraid to do the head tilt. I might damage something.
I think
That
Chris is over the head too.
speaking of that movie, I'm pretty sure Chaz Palminteri was in that movie. Am I mistaken? I haven't watched it in a while, but I'm pretty sure Chaz did a.
He was,
He
yeah.
was like the nightclub owner.
Yes, he was. I just saw the Roxbury for the first time last month, which is insane. There was a big premiere in LA. I think it was at the Egyptian Theater. And I had no idea how many people were in that cast. Like Eva Mendes was in
Oh, was
there.
he? Hmm.
Yeah. And of course, like Molly Shannon and just a lot of like Richard Grieco, just a lot of surprises that I didn't realize, but it was really fun. So yes, there should be a Night at the Roxbury sequel, right? I know.
Well, you never know because these
Love
things are
that.
coming back and trending again, back in style. So
Yes, like White Chicks just got a reboot. Did you hear about that?
I didn't, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they're all coming back. And then the new Scary Movie, which Sherry was in, and she was so good.
Yes,
Sherry O'Terry,
yes,
who's just as sweet and kind in real life as she is, as her characters are.
yes, and
So,
I know the family, nice, great people.
oh,
They have roots here in Philadelphia. Yeah,
oh, do they?
yeah, they're
Oh,
bakers and butchers.
it's so funny.
Yeah,
My
nice people. And shout out
my
to Mary
grandparents.
O'Terry and her husband, who are realtors in Ocean City, New Jersey, who have always been very kind and
Oh,
supportive of me, by the way.
yeah,
So,
big shout
and
out.
And again, guys, whoever's watching this, if you're just joining us, make sure please you're following Maria and make sure you're following her, Chris Kattan. Make sure you're following all their wonderful exploits. They have great content, and of course the podcast, which is What's Up, Peeps, right?
Yeah, what's up, peeps? Premieres Wednesday. And I was going to tell you, my grandparents actually live in Media, which
Close.
is, is it close? Yeah. We went to visit, I think, when I was in fifth grade, and we saw the Liberty Bell, and we ran up the rocky staircase, and I've been the rocky stairs, and did all that. And I remember getting a pretzel from a vendor, and it was cold. And I was like, what the hell is this? No, it's like Auntie Anne's. That's where we get pretzels here. They're hot and they're salty.
Well,
Yeah, we love Philly.
media is actually like maybe 20 minutes from, not far, 20 minutes away. And
Yeah.
I just connected with some of the Italian American organizations there in Delaware County that want to kind of, collaborate and do something together. And so it's really nice that there's still a
Very
lot of
cool.
traditional things going on in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, that's very cool. The East Coast is it's so traditional though. And there's so many Italians on the East Coast too.
Yeah, and in
Mm.
fact, I'll be in New York in about 2 weeks, and there's even more. Well, Jersey apparently has more Italians per
Yeah.
capita than anywhere. So,
Yeah, that's what I
so.
read.
And speaking of Jersey, a lot of these major studios are transplanting over to Jersey. To me, it's a little odd. I guess I understand
Oh,
financially why, but to
mhm.
me, and again, born and raised in Philly, but to me, and
Yeah.
living in LA, living in Hollywood, being right there, there's nothing like it. I mean, I know it's changed a lot, but there's just nothing like it. It's got its own sort of spirit. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's got an energy for sure. I love going back there. Wouldn't want to live there, but love going once a month and getting a little bit of that energy and that zest and just we'll even go walk around like Good Boulevard for fun, or like go. We have friends that live on Sunset Boulevard, and we'll go stay there with them, and it's just always fun to visit. But yeah, and I hear that a lot of studios are actually moving to Las Vegas, which seems like a natural place, to transition. But who knows what's going to happen?
What are some of your goals? Like, what would you like to see yourself, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now? What are some of your longer term goals?
Well, I have three kids, so like I said, I'm here until the youngest is 18 and she's almost 10. So we've got a while. But, in terms of goals, I'm very big into goal setting and I'm proud of myself because I've met so many of those in the last few years. So I'd like to just keep doing what we're doing, just keep writing, filming more content, growing our socials. We both just started our YouTube channels. So growing those channels, definitely mine from the ground up. And then really learning the ins and the outs of the social media thing and how to succeed in that. I just got accepted as a like it to know it vlogger, so that's all new for me. So now I'm posting my outfits and then the clothes I buy, I'm posting it on there, and that's a whole learning process and it's really fun. So just succeeding in that area and then continuing to film, and you just don't know what's around the corner. We've been approached about reality shows, we've been approached about, documentaries. So it's kind of exciting. See where it goes.
Well, that's great. And I think you have a
Yeah.
world of different things you could try and do. And now it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere at our fingertips. So great. It's all great stuff. And please make sure we watch and support you on YouTube. And what I'll ask you to do is maybe once we're finished here soon, I'll download it and then maybe we can show the replay. I'll post it on my Instagram. And
Sure.
maybe there's a way we can also show some of your links this way, beyond the
Yeah,
social media to try to help
that would be
support you.
great.
Yeah,
I
it'd be
really
nice.
appreciate that. I'm curious about your background. What am I looking at? Are those album covers or are they movie covers? What are those?
They're just movie covers. I
Oh,
did
I see.
myself.
E.T. Indiana Jones. Okay.
Yep. There's
Oh, I
Rocky up there
love that.
somewhere. Most of my
Very
favorite
cool.
movies, like Sunset Boulevard, and Rocky, and of course The Godfather. I'll be thrown out of the house. How could I not put it up? I got to put it up.
Yes, you would. And your whole family's Italian, I'm assuming your wife, your kids,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously your
We
favorite
my
part.
parents came over from Italy in 1966. So yeah, I'm first generation. My parents were Italian immigrants from Calabria, but I've been to Sicily. My wife's
Okay.
Sicilian, and I've been to Sicily. I lived in Italy for a while too because my parents went back to Italy in
Oh,
2000. So I used
wow.
to go back and forth, and so I lived out there for like a year at a time, come back for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Wow. That's lucky. I don't know
So
anybody else who's done that.
it's really beautiful to kind of have a perspective of, inner city South Philly, and then you go to a countryside where you're
Yes.
picking fresh figs off of a tree, and and lambs are dancing
Nice.
around. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But
It is a beautiful thing. I went to Sicily it was for my 40th birthday, and we just went to Italy with no schedule, no plan, no idea of what to do. And turns out Italians like to take the month of August off,
yeah,
which we didn't
August.
know. So August, they just take off. And so, a lot of the restaurants were closed and the stores were closed. And I wouldn't recommend going in August, but
No, that's not. It's not the month to go.
no.
It's called Ferragosto, which is like it's the holiday, the August holiday. And I remember being there, and my mom needed some paperwork done. She lived there, so I couldn't
Yeah.
get anything done. Everything was closed. I was like, I can't believe this. American, nothing's ever closed. There's nothing but work. And the first thing I noticed
Right.
when the very first thing I noticed when I went out there in 2000 was just the pace, people, the way they walked. It was like such a slow pace. I was like, I thought it was
Right.
in a slow mo movie. I'm like, I couldn't believe how laid back people were. And then I kind of
So
felt bad 'cause I'm like, geez, we don't really understand how to live.
right. Like we're so rude. Everything is rushing and, yeah, it's a different culture for sure.
Michael Gershio says Ferragosto, yes. And they also have in the Bronx, they have a party that goes on in Arthur Avenue called Ferragosto, which is a lot of fun, by the way. So shout out to my
Oh,
people in the Bronx, by the way. Leo says we live to work, they work to live. Correct. And Leo's another
yes.
fellow Calabrese.
Oh, Panto. Am I saying that right? 1230. That's a
Yes.
very nice thing to say. Thank you. New Jersey is definitely 100% becoming a film studio hub. Man, what a great place for it, though.
It is. It's ironic because it kind of started here, right? It started in Jersey, the
Yeah.
Edison, and then when he monopolized the whole industry, people went to the West Coast because they couldn't do anything because he had everything tied up, and you weren't really allowed to shoot anything without his okay and his. So now it's
Yeah.
come full circle. But there's nothing like in LA. I mean, but when you're married with kids, you kind of have to, make a decision.
Right. And it's so funny when everybody, when we're prepping to go to we go about every month to LA. At least Chris goes more often than that. And everyone's like, have a great time on your vacation. Have so much fun in LA. Oh my gosh. Are you going to do this? And I'm like, no, this is not a fun trip. This is a work trip. Every second is accounted for. We're lucky if we get to eat during the day. So yeah, it's definitely, I would love to I mean, we haven't done this in a long time, but just go and spend a week there and not do any work and just play and have fun and hit all the best places. There's a restaurant there. Gosh, what's it? Hey, Chris. I forget what it's called. It's right next to the Magic Castle. And it's a Japanese restaurant. And it is the best food I've ever had. And it's the most beautiful restaurant I've ever been to. And we used to live just right up the street. We would walk there. And I'll have to, I don't know what the hell Chris is doing, but I'll
I thought you
ask
were
him.
gonna say. I thought you meant like a Pastai or something in like Beverly Hills or something. Like there's some really great restaurants,
No.
obviously, around
Just
all over there.
downtown Hollywood. But yeah, I mean, there's so many, right? Sugarfish is our favorite place to get sushi when we're in LA.
Nice.
Yeah, so but when we're there, it's mostly for work, and then we'll have to go back a different time for play, catch up with friends.
A lot of places closed too. I was really sad to hear about it. Like well, that's. I mean, it happened right around 2020 when that whole thing. I don't want to say because then when I get kicked off, we're not allowed to say that word. When everybody
Oh,
got sick.
yes.
But
Oh, that time.
yeah, but everything closed. In Philly, there's I mean a whole shopping corridor, like a whole block of businesses went under. It's so sad.
Yeah, that's when everything changed. But it's like 9/11. Like nothing was the same after that, right? You could never take a flight the same way after 9/11. It's no different than that time. Changed everything. And that's the reason why I wouldn't personally, I could never uproot my kids from the Midwest and take them somewhere like Hollywood. Like now I mean, it's just different. It's a lot different than it used to be, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So,
and I remember some of the kids. that I met growing up there, or some of the wealthier families, the kids are kind of a little bit out of touch. I hate to be so critical, but
Yeah.
they didn't really, it's there's something to be said about kind of learning the hard way, you know.
Yeah.
And
No,
I think
that's
that's good for a
fair.
kid.
I do too. I think, especially when they're already spoiled.
Yeah, don't
So
spoil
yeah.
them. Well, Maria, you've been so generous with your time. I don't want to keep you,
Thank
and
you.
it's been a delight. So, again, for those that are watching, make sure that you are following Maria Libri, following Chris Kathan. Make sure you're watching their podcast, which is called What's Up, Peeps.
Yay.
And what else we got going on?
Well, our movie Concert Heroes will be coming out later this year. So look for Concert Heroes. It's an indie film we did in San Diego. We did do another film together a couple of years back. It's a Pat Perez film called Say a Little Prayer. That's a very cute rom-com. So anyway, just lots of fun stuff, lots of new content coming out on socials. Podcast again starts Wednesday, first on Substack and then everywhere else, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. So tune in. We will appreciate it and hopefully you enjoy it.
Absolutely. And again, the best way to find all this out is by following her. So make sure you're following her. So again, my guest has been the very wonderful Maria Libri, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Please come back anytime and let us keep us updated on anything that's going on. And before we leave, a quick shout out to my friend Sal Serki, who's an actor in New York who just joined on. But Sal, you're too late because we're going to bed. We're snoozing over here.
Sorry, Sal. Hi, Michael.
All right, Maria, you've been so great. Thank you again. Any last words you want to say to everybody before we go?
No, oh, we're getting such nice comments. Here's another one. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And thank you, Vinny. You are an absolute gem. You were so sweet to have us. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. All right, guys, again, we will see you next time. Maria, everybody out there, good night. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
Good night.